Mark Williams, 1.
That'll be noted by O'Sullivan. That pretty much anything sticking out today, Mark is going to have a pop at.
Foul. Mark Williams, 4.
In the end, it was a little fortunate on Mark's part to leave it bolt straight the red. Ronnie couldn't do an awful lot with it, especially at pace.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wide, that one. But again, you know, that red could easily finish near a pocket. It went safe. This was the attempt from Williams, and he himself demonstrated what he thought of it.
Surprised he didn't go deeper in the cue ball and try to avoid contact in the black.
Black ball. Ronnie Sullivan, 1.
Now Ronnie's left the gap here if Mark wants to take this red on the left.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie Sullivan, 4.
Yeah, just looking for the thin edge. I mean, whoever had got through to the final, it would have been a great occasion, but it's just something about these two legends. The thing is, neither have got anything to prove, but at the same time, they could still keep proving it. O'Sullivan's won 5 titles this season. Williams, the British Open, which was a very memorable affair with Mark Selby. As they sort this cue ball out, it's Queenie Lou, who's helping Olivia Martial.
Okay.
More. And a little bit this side. Yeah.
Mark? Ronnie? Thank you.
Yeah, that's the edge he was looking for. First meeting as pros was in the qualifiers for the Welsh Open 94, as was mentioned in the studio. So we're going back 30 years. The other member of the triumvirate, John Higgins, of course, beat them both, didn't he, in the World Masters, the junior event, when they were all 15 back in 91. That was the first sign the three of them could together come forward as something special.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Yeah, just
Ronnie,
worth noting
thank
he
you.
can see the red full ball. No problem this time. Yeah, Mark actually has a pot on. This is aggressive taking this one. Yeah, the problem with that one, you've no idea where the reds are going to finish. And has he left one? I was thinking one of the reds more central there. I played it some kind of shot to nothing. Will Ronnie make him pay?
One. Eight. Nine.
Just trickled in again. Evidence of Ronnie having a bit of a perusal.
14.
There's the average shot time, 25 seconds. Sullivan. Early doors, but
15.
clear so far that the aggressor in this match has been Mark Williams. This is where, as we know, Ronnie does his best work when he gets in close. It's the first, what he would call a proper chance to loosen the arm and get himself going.
21.
Yeah, 3 centuries in the tournament for Sullivan. He's the quickest player on tour, 17 seconds across the season per shot. But every match, indeed every final, has a different feel to it, depending on who you're playing and their history with them, what they're capable of, what they've shown themselves during the week. Sullivan, he keeps an eye on matches, he knows how people are playing, what they're doing.
That's a great point you make, Dave, because you think back a few months to that Masters final.
28.
It was all guns blazing the first session, wasn't it? Today, totally different. That's a lovely shot.
29.
But as we know, these guys, that they know every move to make and when to make it. Can change up their game like the wind, as and when required. But yeah, just feeling his way into this final so far, Ronnie. Key shot this. Nicely on a red. Should win the frame. Oh, that was a beautiful little nudge on the red, wasn't it? Just to help it round the corner.
$35. $40.
Well, you still fancied him for that, but the break has
Ronnie Sullivan
unravelled a
fault.
little bit, hadn't it? You know, he's wrong side of the blue, so he's always leaving a mid-distance red. Kind of fancy him for most pots, but can go in. He's just not quite yet settled into the match. A lot of that is to do with his opponent, I think, the way he's playing.
One.
And not the worst nudge. He's on the brown to the middle. Good pot. Good lead already. Good chance to make it one each.
Five. Thank you. 6.
One more red needed after the blue. So it's not been a clinical kill necessarily, but he will be getting chances today, won't he? Because Williams is going for pretty much everything. He's not going to get everything. So the question is, can O'Sullivan, when the chances come along, do the business? The other side of that, of course, if Williams does start to get them, he's going to be dangerous. It's just a fascinating match, this. One thing's for sure, though, Mark Williams, and Ronnie knows this, he's not
17.
intimidated by O'Sullivan. A lot of people are, including other top players. Mark Williams, you cannot rattle him, no matter who you are. That stays out, so it's 2 snookers needed.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 17.
Well, he caught that all wrong, so the red is on and the frame surely is done. Sullivan has once before won 6 titles in a season, 2000, 2001. In fact, one of them was the China Open against Williams. But there's been something about this season, because there's so many tournaments now and he's not played in all of them, the fact that his strike rate of actually winning
4.
compared to how many events he plays in is remarkable. Already 5 trophies, big ones he's collected.
5.
If he wins this title, he'll go to 1.3 million for the season, with the World Championship still to come.
$12. 13.
Yeah, and if he won today, O'Sullivan, it would be 5 of his last 7 events, if you take aside the Championship League, which...
Sullivan in the second.
Crisp. Terrific long pot. That was more like the one late on against Gary Wilson.
Six. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6.
Now here's a gift for Mark Williams. Didn't see that one coming. It was quite a precise positional shot, so he put a lot of concentration into the positional side, a shake of the head. It hasn't, I agree with David, hasn't quite settled in at the moment, Ronnie.
Eight. Nine.
The oldest ranking event winner, Ray Reardon, at 50. Of course, Williams won the British Open earlier this season. He's since turned 49. But still, it's true, both play a young man's game, don't they? And actually have a sort of
60.
youthful outlook in general.
$17.
must admit, when I heard him interviewed before his first match with Tom Ford, and he was saying he'd been in China playing pool and didn't fancy his chances, I thought he'll play well this week. I'm not saying I thought he'd be in the final, but Mark is one of the great kidders in our sport. I think he was feeling
24.
good when he got here, actually.
25.
Just a hint short of pace, so how does he get the cue ball out of there? Gone deep. No man's
33.
land, it's no good. The yellow would be the only way to continue the break. And again, I know I've said it a few times, he's been aggressive so far. Do expect him to keep his foot to the pedal. Yeah, it's a nasty one with this long bridge. Added to the fact he doesn't have to play it, he's under no pressure to play it.
This is what makes him dangerous. So just the fact he's taking it on, and the fact he gets it, obviously more so. I'm sure that many people would have done.
36.
He set his stall out. It's very clear. He's good to his word. He said he was going to attack. That's exactly what he's done.
$43. 44.
Well, maybe he just didn't like the contact there. He's still on a red, but it didn't quite finish as intended.
51.
Slightly hampered.
$52.
Well, that yellow, he's already a big shot, isn't it, today? I mean, as I say,
59.
not that many would have taken it on or indeed potted it. But not everyone's
60.
like Mark Williams, are they?
$67. 68.
Yeah, taking the yellow on, it's almost like he's saying, I don't care I'm playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. I'm playing the best player ever. I don't care. I'm just going to take on my shots. And by the way, I'll be getting plenty of them. And most people are not like that. We know when you see that man in the
75.
corner facing you, coming next to the table.
76.
He's trying to free that red, but it's just finished awkward. He's had 4 centuries in the tournament, 3 in the semis.
Here's the underarm shot. Piece of cake, isn't it?
$91.
It's not going to get there.
Mark Williams,
but
91.
a fine
And the
91.
free.
He picked up when Sullivan broke down. The family happy so far. Crowd enjoying a terrific start to the final. Williams leads those sides breaks so far, just 40.
Frame 4, Mark Williams to break. Foul and a miss. Mark Williams 4.
Yeah, I think Olivier Martil just checking the pack of reds, the one on the right, he might be able to see that full ball. He can't physically see it full ball. See it there, the one on the right there. If the other reds aren't there, he could see that, I think, full ball.
Mark.
So it's
Thank
worth
you.
noting because Ronnie would be warned if he doesn't make contact this time. Yeah, that solves that problem. Funny the way both players' games have developed over the last 30 years. You think back to their early encounters, it'd be all guns blazing on both sides. But now it's a different way, isn't it? Trying to outsmart one another rather than outgun one another.
the players go to the first interval. It's Mark Williams leading by 3 frames to 1.
He has compiled a 147 against Williams before. Last 16 of the World Championship in 2008.
41.
Got a prize for what is that?
No specific prize on offer for a maximum, but
48.
the high break of the tournament so far is 142. And if you make the highest break in the event, you receive £10,000.
49.
That's not a good shot. You could tell by the reaction, the body language. Pretty much dead straight in this black. Just off straight the wrong way as well. So,
56.
yes, a bit subdued, I think is the right word for Ronnie this afternoon so far. Doesn't look like he's, you know, he's like a coiled spring round the table. Just walking around pretty slowly. Not really got into this final yet. The amount of times when he's on it, the amount of times he finishes straight in the black, I mean, you can count on one hand in a season if he's on it. He took a minute to think of the shot, and it was worth the wait. Well, unfortunately, that's the 147 out of the way, but he'll be just concentrating on winning this frame, and as I say, trying to get into this final, trying to impose himself on it. Hasn't done so far. It's been all about Mark Williams, really.
70.
After just 6 minutes, though, we've arrived at frame ball.
71.
And this frame, OK, he's made a few misjudgments, but it's been a vast improvement on anything pre-interval for the Rockies.
$78. $79. $86. $87.
He might have won £1,155,000 this season, but he wants
94.
another 10 grand. And who can blame him?
95.
The double way off, but that's just what Sullivan required to get the juices flowing. Mark Williams now leads only 3-2. Useful.
Thank you. Frame 6. Mark Williams to break.
Mark Williams has come up against O'Sullivan enough to know that the one thing you have to try and protect against is O'Sullivan getting on one of those extraordinary rolls when he wins 3, 4, 5 frames in no time. I came out with a cliche earlier this week in a different context. I'll say it again. Intervals change matches.
Yeah, making century breaks sharpens the focus and gets you interested, gets you enjoying being out there again. Highest break pre-interval was only 40. But winning frames in one visit, that's what inspires you. He's an inspirational player, Ronnie Sullivan. Sometimes he needs like a genius shot or say like a century just to get the juices flowing.
5.
Change of momentum will play a huge part in this final. Both players will have their good times when they can reel off 2, 3, maybe 4 frames in a row.
12.
No one does that better than the man at the table.
13.
Could turn this final on its head in 20, 30 minutes.
$20. 21. 28.
'Mark would have known. He would have expected a reaction
29.
after the interval. He would know that Ronnie wouldn't keep playing the way he was for the whole of this final. So this will be no surprise to him, but it's just a little of this first session, first 8 frame session, is just a little worrying time for Mark. A little bit lucky there, Ronnie. Didn't play that shot well. Didn't get the red full in the face.
35.
But even the snooker gods would never upset O'Sullivan.
Yeah, when you play the split off the blue, and you don't get it full in the face, and the cue ball's running wild to each side of the table, you're relying on a little bit of luck to be on a red.
42.
He got that little run of the ball, and he's in prime position
43.
to win the frame again in one visit. Another very unlike a Sullivan positional shot there. Cue ball's kind of in no man's land. Played for the blue.
Stretching
45.
with side. Those who clapped in the audience did so from a position of knowledge. That was a good shot.
$46.
Again, I'm not sure. Maybe the cushions are playing a little bit lively because he's overhitting. When he's having to use position off a cushion, I've never seen him overhit so many shots. So the table may be playing a little bit bouncy. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt
Thank you.
because it's not often he plays
52.
two bad positional shots in a row.
53.
That was beautifully controlled. It may have to play the two reds that are touching each other to the right of the pink. It may play a tiny little cannon on those. Yeah, that's game over.
58.
Well, you wouldn't bet against second century in a row now.
The red he's looking at will squeeze past the pink, but he was looking for alternatives, just in case.
$65. $66.
Williams worked hard for his 3-1 lead. It's been erased in
72.
15 minutes.
73. $80.
These two first played in the 1994 Welsh Open. That year, John Major was Prime Minister.
81.
Bill Clinton lived in the White House. Nelson Mandela swept to power in South Africa. The world changes, but one constant, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Potts balls.
86.
The
87.
phrase "don't poke the bear" springs to mind. Williams winning that first little session 3-1.
$93. $94.
As I said, none of this will come as a surprise to Mark Williams. He would know that in this final, Ronnie O'Sullivan is going to have times like this. Magnificent start to the second mini session from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's found a gear.
102. $105.
O'Sullivan's 5th century in the tournament, and Williams is an opponent that on 2 occasions he's made
109.
5 centuries against in a single match.
$114. $120.
Snooker's Rolls Royce
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
has left the garage. It's 3-3. The
Ronnie O'Sullivan
127
to break.
has achieved parity in style.
Not sure if the red that's very close to the black goes to the left corner. If it does, he'll probably play for that one now. No, he decided to play for the one in the open. But he'll be looking to get rid of that red from the black as soon as possible.
5.
And once again, a positional shot using the cushion. He's hit too hard.
That was a big bounce. I was watching in particular.
I would still say he hit it too hard because only for the reason that Ronnie adapts to tables better than anyone I've ever seen.
Thank you.
But it does become really tricky if the table is playing like that. Playing that one to
6.
perfection. If that red pots, he may not go into the bunch here. You want to get rid of that red because it's a nuisance. The reason I say might not go into the bunch because it could tie up the black completely. The reds could go towards the black. It's a beautiful angle in the blue to play the split. Yeah, just getting rid of that nuisance red first.
11. $12.
Full power. You'll be very annoyed at that shot.
19.
Again, most un-Sullivan-like, that shot.
Ronnie Sullivan, 19.
Takes his points with that reply to 248. But as Stephen said, aggrieved to leave the table. Williams down quickly to see whether a plant had been left. They might not be set on, but it's certainly makeable. In fact, from behind the pocket, it looks very inviting. Snookered. Has to be really delicate here. And with awkward bridging as well.
Yellow ball. Williams 1.
If they start going in on a regular basis, the trophy engraver might be tempted to start work. That was beautifully cued.
Yeah, scoring, heavy scoring.
6.
Sullivan's close to 1,300 centuries. Is his biggest weapon. And pre-interval, he wasn't doing that.
7.
As we've said, 40 was his highest break. 2 centuries since this second mini session started. And it just transforms his game. Along with the score now, his long
14.
potting's come alive. His cue ball's getting more and more precise. A little worrying time in this final for Mark Williams. From being 3-1 up, he
15.
could lose this session in a heartbeat.
$20.
Even though he's got a choice of 2 reds, he wasn't happy with how precise that positional shot was. Tends to deal in
21.
millimetres of precision, Ronnie Sullivan.
$28. $29. $36. $37. $43. $44.
The frame is over again in no time. Now O'Sullivan can turn to making a hat-trick of
51.
centuries.
52.
By the way, he's done everything in the game, but he's never made 4 in succession. After that,
58.
probably won't be making 3. I've got little faith.
Sullivan 59.
A break of 59. Since the interval, Mark Williams has potted 1 ball. Ronnie O'Sullivan now in front at 4-3. Frame
Thank you.
left
The
in
final
the
frame of
session,
the session.
and what a
Mark
crucial
Williams.
one it is. The chief priority for Mark Williams to stop the rot. Or stop the rocket.
Yeah, we would normally be talking about things like, you know, players 3-1 up, disappointed to be 5-3 behind. Mark Williams, these things don't apply. He just plays the game. Doesn't really think about a lot in terms of what's going on, in terms of score lines and things like that. Just plays. But as I say, I'm a little worrying.
We just saw the points that O'Sullivan scored against Williams since the interval. And during that splurge of scoring, he's improved his pot success rate by 10%. And since the interval, he's been almost flawless. After the barrage he's taken, that was simply magnificent.
However good Mark's temperament is, that will annoy him, because it was a beautiful pot to the middle to create that little opportunity.
One.
Yeah, you can't afford to be missing blacks off a spot in this company. Mark Williams may have played his last shot in this session. I'll be very surprised if he gets back to the table being able to win this frame. The way Ronnie has gone up a gear since the interval.
9.
And once again, using the cushion, slightly overhit. Shouldn't be a problem.
$16.
I'm not surprised at the hesitation. This is one that could wobble and stay on the table.
17.
It could have done, but it didn't.
Yeah, I think the hesitation was he knew the way he was playing the cue ball, there was a good chance he'd finish straight in the black. He hasn't done. He's done well to keep some sort of angle.
$24. $25. $32. $33.
Another key
38.
pot from mid-distance coming up.
$39. $44. $45. $49.
Just got to be wary of that middle pocket if he's screwing back for the blue here. Yeah, that was
50.
nicely played. It was such a controlled screw shot there. It was almost like a stun rather than a screw.
$55. $56.
Just checking the scoreboard,
63.
realising this again. In super swift fashion, this frame ball. You know, in that crowd this weekend, we got some folks from Texas. This is a case of Houston, we have liftoff. The rocket
69.
is in orbit.
70.
Yeah, this has been a devastating burst from Ronnie Sullivan.
77.
It's not been his most precise cue ball
78.
in these 4 frames, but he sensed a little bit of danger, 3-1 behind, and it's just gone up a gear.
85.
Tell you what, these two
86.
members of the class of 1992 have not been unduly detained. Cracking session.
$93. $94.
Memorable, magical.
101. $103. 106. 110. 115. 121 on the frame.
Even by Ronnie Sullivan standards, that burst was brilliant. 3-1 down, not playing well at the interval. Now, what a total transformation. At the end of the afternoon, he's 5-3 ahead.